Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. I've been having technical difficulties the past couple of days. Please forgive me. But ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks lose 115 to 107 to the Miami Heat. In a game that was, I don't know where I'm at with this particular game. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not sure. You know, Jalen Brunson did his thing. Karl Anthony Towns was kind of off. Jordan Clarkson was definitely off. You know, we needed some offense. And you know, this is the type of game that we were hoping, you know, when everyone's off, Jordan Clarkson can come in and give us a boost. We didn't get that from him today. You know what I mean? So it was the Miami Heat's home opener. It's a rivalry type of a game. And you always know that the Miami Heat are going to be a good basketball team. They're going to be tough. They're going to battle. They're going to scrap. They're going to scrape. It's never going to be easy against the Miami Heat. You know, so I don't think it's nothing that should. I expected us to win, but I think this pulls us back, maybe grounds us a little bit, right? And allows us to say, okay, this team does still have work. You know, because including myself, we all got a little bit excited, all right? They beat Cleveland. They beat Boston, two teams that we didn't beat in the regular season last year. Now we have a chance to beat the Miami Heat, go 3-0 for the first time in 20 years. Or I'm sorry, since 2012. I'm tripping. 13 years. Didn't happen. It's okay. It's a learning experience for this team. But, you know, they struggled tonight. They struggled tonight. The Miami Heat played the way that we want to play. And they did it better tonight. They played really good defense. They shot the ball really well. And they had people knocking down shots. You know, some people that, you know, maybe we're not even aware of doing things again. And maybe they're just a good matchup for us. I don't know. But it's the Miami Heat. It's going to happen that way. You know what I mean? I got my man Tony Crow in the building, you know, and we're going to break this one down and figure out what went right, what went wrong, what do we got to do to get better? You know what I mean? Because we will get better from this. We will, and this is, I guess, what we got to do. We got to figure out who those guys are that's going to step in and take control when Brunson and Cat and these guys aren't doing their thing. It's a learning process. So let's not be afraid. Let's not get scared. Let's not. Some people are gonna panic already, and I've seen tweets about the lineups, about the rotations, about who was in the game at certain times. I'm not even ready to go there yet. I'm just not. I'm just not ready to go there yet because Mike Brown, ladies and gentlemen, is learning this basketball team. Mike Brown is learning who does what. Who responds when. You understand what I'm saying? That takes time. That doesn't just happen just because. It takes time. And I think we've got to respect that. Not sure if everybody is respecting that. And I know there's some people, you know, in the chat that's waiting for me to smash Mike Brown because we lost one game, and I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm not. I give my man Tony Crow in the building. We'll talk about some stats, the box score, this, that, and the third, and then we'll go ahead and, you know, break this one down. You know what I mean? Let's do it. Tony, what's popping with you, brother? How are you feeling tonight, especially about this basketball game?
It feels like the trend from last year where when I can't when I'm not home and off to watch the game, it's a struggle. You know what I mean? I only got to see about half of it, the first and the last quarter. So first off, shout out to the chat on Your Blackest Time. First thing I'm gonna say is that the best we could go is 80-1.
Right.
But
Right.
so yeah, that's the good part. 44 bench points for Miami Heat. That's the type of numbers that we were looking for, with this
Yeah.
newly assembled second unit.
Yeah.
Shooting woes still, there's 3 games in a row where the Knicks have not shot the ball as a team
I see that's
particularly
more
well.
that's more of a concern for me than anything that has to do with rotations or anything like that right now. The shooting woes to
100%.
begin the season.
100%. Brunson, I don't know what his shooting splits was, but he had a Brunson game, which was good. I don't know about the chat, but I know watching the game, I heard one of the announcers talk about how long Brunson was on the bench, and
Yeah,
saying,
there was
even when he came back, and he was like, "Yo, he sat for a while. He got to get his rhythm down." So
there was
it was
definitely
interesting.
conversations about it.
It was definitely interesting to hear their perspective and to see how the chat responds to this one loss. But again, it's one loss, right?
One
And,
loss.
and I heard you in the beginning. Miami's gonna be scrappy, regardless of Jimmy Butler there, Jimmy Butler not, LeBron there, LeBron not. Like Miami is gonna be a scrappy team, and they're gonna overachieve more times than
More
not.
times than not. And that's
Whoever
just
they whoever they bring into the team.
right. And that's just how Eric Spoelstra has this team wired. The culture there is wired for success. Right? The culture there is wired to be a hard-nosed basketball team that's going to battle you tooth and nail every time they step on the floor, especially a team like the Knicks. And, you're not trying to get smacked by the Knicks. Not saying it doesn't happen with Pat Riley there. You dig what I'm saying? It's going to be a battle every time you step on the floor with the Miami Heat. Even if you do blow them out, you probably come away with injuries. You know what I'm saying?
I've been there.
Yeah, we've been there. We've been there. No doubt about it. We've been there. We've been there. Come away with injuries. Are you disappointed that we didn't start 3-0? Something we would have, for the first time since 2012, something we would have accomplished if we would have beat the Miami Heat tonight. You're a little disappointed at that? I am. I wanted to start 3-0. I wanted to win as many games as possible, go undefeated as long as possible. You know what I mean? Before we took a loss. So I am a little disappointed at that. And that was just a personal feat of mine.
Every loss is disappointing. For me, it puts the next game as a more important game. You know what I mean? Had we won this one, I wouldn't have been looking at the next game as important. You know what I mean? But now I'm looking at it a little bit different. Giannis playing Giannis. You know what I mean? He's trying to get his team back on track to where they supposedly supposed to be. And again, he's a former MVP. I know I'm jumping ahead, but you know what I mean? He's a former MVP, and you want to win that one. But yeah, so this loss makes the next game more important.
That's true. Very true. It makes the next game much more important. I don't know. I'm not going crazy over the loss. I do want to get into talking about the shooting woes and what's the cause and how we fix it. I think I know why, but I want to get into that. But before we do, let's run down the box score. All right, for the New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson led the way. 35 minutes tonight, 37 points, 5 rebounds for Jalen Brunson, and also 7 assists. Shot 53.8% from the field. He shot 45.5% from the three-point line. Obviously the announcers felt like Brunson probably should have been in the game maybe a little bit earlier because the Knicks were struggling to score the basketball, and they needed somebody out there to score the ball. Right, Jordan Clarkson was off. He wasn't hitting. He was 2 for 11 from the field tonight. He had a couple of plays in the fourth quarter. But he was, for the most part, he was off. Everybody was off, except for Jalen Brunson. Mikal Bridges was he put together 20 points tonight though. He was 7 for 11 from the field. Second leading scorer for
And
the
he's been
Knicks.
shooting. He's been shooting good all season, right? All 3 games or whatever.
Yeah, so far he's been shooting well.
It may not have been high value, but I think his, you know what I mean, like his splits have been good.
Yeah. 20 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists tonight for Mikal Bridges. 63.6% from the field, 60% from the three-point line for Mikal Bridges. All right, nice shooting. Karl Anthony Towns did not shoot the ball well until the fourth quarter when he hit a couple of threes. 15 points, 18 rebounds for Cat tonight. A lot of rebounds to go around because the Knicks were missing a lot of shots. Both teams, the Knicks were missing a lot of shots, so there was rebounds to go around. 6 for 14 from the field. OG Anunoby, 14.6 rebounds tonight. 30.8% from the field, 33% from the three-point line. The bench, though, Deuce wasn't there tonight. All right, he was out for personal reasons. Right, so no Deuce. Yeah, so it was it's a tough one tonight. It was a tough one tonight. You know what I mean? Hopefully, whatever was going on with Deuce, everything is good. Yabusele tonight, 3 points. No, I'm sorry, 2 points, 6 rebounds. 5 offensive rebounds for Yabusele, though. Still not impressed. And some people left comments in the last game, Sam, Yabusele, this, that, and the third. I'm still not impressed with Yabusele. I'm still a little bit shaky with him. I just am. Josh Hart, 2 for 5, 6 points, 5. The bench didn't give us what we needed tonight. Let me get to a phone call. I got Spree on the line. Spree, what's good with you, brother? How you feeling?
I don't know. I don't feel really good about what I watched tonight.
Okay.
I'm kind of disappointed, like you. I wanted to go 3-0.
Yeah, I did.
But I'm not happy, and I just want to have an honest conversation here. I want to get to the bench, but just be honest with me, Sim.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Karl Anthony Towns can defend at all? Do you think he'll ever be able to defend at all in his life? Or he can't play defense?
I think Karl Anthony Towns is who he is. I think there'll be nights when he plays some decent defense. Then there'll be nights when he struggles. If he's defending a guy like Bam, I think he's going to struggle.
Do you think Karl Anthony Towns is in good enough shape to play on both ends of the floor? The way the Knicks are trying to play, do you believe that right now?
Oh, that's a very, very good question. Very good question. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask this.
Mm-hmm.
Is he used to this style of play? How about that?
That's a good question. I don't know.
All right. And how much time does it take to build the endurance to play this style? You know what I'm saying? Because maybe it just takes that time to build that endurance to be able to play this style.
I hope so, man. He just looks slow. He just getting up, like he's never been, like even like last year when we played slow, like it took him a while to get up the floor. But like, obviously when you miss not just him, but when you're missing threes like that, and you got like the transition defense is awful. But I don't know. I wish he was in a little bit. I don't know if he's in great shape. I don't know what his weight is currently now. I know he's never been in the greatest shape ever. I'm monitoring that, Sim. He doesn't look at. I thought there was a period last year where Towns did look athletic, but I don't know if Towns has looked athletic enough to me for my liking, Sim. I'm just being honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to be honest here. I mean, yeah, he missed some open threes, but I don't like where he's at right now. But it's very early, and I don't want to go crazy after 3 games. So maybe you're right. Maybe we just got to let him get the endurance and how we're playing now. I don't know.
It's going to take a little while for him to learn, for all of the players. If you're going from like systems that are at the opposite ends of the spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tom Thibodeau played more controlled, slow, a slower half-court type of game, right? That was predictable. Mike Brown is playing a more up-tempo type of game that's a little less unpredictable and based on motion, right? So it's 2 different mindsets out there on the floor. And your body, has to be conditioned to play both type of games. The type of game that you're playing with Tom Thibodeau, you got to be a little bit more tough and aggressive. The type of game that you're playing with Mike Brown, you got to be in shape, more endurance, be smart and understand your shot selections a little bit better, right? And it's going to take some used to. The transition is going to take, it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to that transition, I think. So I don't
Towns will get it. Maybe he'll work his way. Like some guys work their way in shape. I'm not. I can't comment on what Towns like. I just see a guy struggling right now to get up and down. That I do see that. I have to say that after 3, I can honestly say I see him struggling with this. But maybe you're right. Maybe let's give it 15 to 20 games. Maybe he'll get used to this.
Yeah, I think you got to give him that much time. So that he can get get used to it. He can figure out how he plays in this system. And he's probably, they're all might be thinking a little bit too.
Yeah. Sam, they all shot, we shot 54 threes. I like that we're shooting high volume. I don't mind that. But do you think we got into the defense and those were, how many of them were good threes, in your opinion?
I have to really go back and look at it again to determine how many were good. Obviously, there's some threes that weren't the best, but I really got to go back and look to see which threes were good, which threes weren't good. You know what I mean? And also, what does Mike Brown expect as far as how they're pulling threes and when they pull a 3 and all that kind of stuff? So
it's the same.
Well, I think we want 40 plus a night. I think we want 40, but I think Mike Brown wants 43s a night plus. 54 is a lot. I'll go back and watch the film, but I didn't love some of them. Some of them I liked. We just missed open shots, but OG was off balance, especially on some of his. OG shot 4 for 12. He shot 12 threes. OG does this thing. Yeah, when he's in rhythm, he can make, but sometimes OG loses balance sometimes, or he does a dribble. He takes a dribble, an unnecessary dribble before he pulls up, which drives me nuts. And OG, I know he's made some great defensive plays, but even on offense, OG, would you agree that OG can lose his balance?
He all the time. He loses on defense, not really, but on offense, he always loses his balance.
Yeah, I think he sometimes I'll say this on OG offensively. I think sometimes he loses his mind where he lacks awareness, where he takes an unnecessary dribble, or he thinks he can Sometimes he'll pump fake unnecessarily, and he'll fall short underneath the basket. So it's a work in progress with OG too. But I'm hating tonight. I'm just mad at Sim. I wanted to win this game.
Yeah, so did I. I wanted to get this win. I wanted to.
Yabusele, but I'm with you, Sim. I heard your comment on Yabusele. He's looked terrible. I mean, it's 3 games, but what has Yabusele done on either end of the floor that makes you excited right now?
Nothing. For me, nothing. He had 5 offensive rebounds tonight. I like that.
I mean, is he a good player?
Supposed to be.
What did we get here?
He's supposed to be a good player. Listen, he's got the body of a true power forward. We know that. Mm-hmm. Right? I think he does hustle and play hard. I think, someone asked me before the season started if I think Yabusele can, play in this type of a system. And I said, I think so, because he can shoot the 3, so that helps to spread the floor. And then also, it's not just about getting up and down the floor. It's about going to the right spots and this and that. And if he can do that, then he can play in the system. But right now, it just doesn't look like he can. It looks like the movement is a lot for him. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's going to take him some time too.
Well, I thought he was. See here, it's only 3 games. I want to be fair. Again, I'm not going to lie to you and say I watched Yabusele every night last year on the Sixers. I know he can space the floor. He hasn't made shots. I'm not going to freak out about that. What I'm concerned about is I don't think he's looked good at all defensively. Like, wasn't he supposed to be a good defensive player?
I don't know if he was supposed to be. I don't think so.
Or is that not true?
Yeah, I don't think he was supposed to be a good defensive player. As a matter of fact, I think that was one of the questions coming into the season that, did we bring in too many players that didn't play defense?
All right, well, I'm a little disappointed because I thought I need more from him. Maybe I'm wrong. I was expecting more. So, yeah, I'm disappointed. Josh Hart, yeah, he can't shoot. I know he's working his way back, so I'm going to give him time. But we already know with Josh Hart, he can be a spark plug. He can rebound. I get it. But you can't – Josh Hart is good in limited doses. You don't want to overplay. He played 29 minutes, so I would keep it down to 25, but he's not making shots. Jordan Clarkson couldn't make anything. We're just going to have some of these Jordan Clarkson games. I knew that coming in when we signed him. Like, he's a hot and cold player. So the bench is a concern. I mean, because the whole hype of and I'll leave you. I know I'm going on a rant, and I'll let you guys go. But like wasn't the whole offseason, we have the depth now. We have the depth. Well, tonight I know Miles McBride missed it, but we had nothing on the bench. Nothing.
We didn't. Nothing I can say to that. We didn't.
So, we're going to lose, if our bench gives us nothing. And I didn't like when we missed shots, our transition defense was bad. Mm-hmm. And they exposed Brunson and Cat a little bit in the 2-man game late in the game with, I forget the point guard's name with the Heat, who's a good player, or one of the guards that, what's Davion Mitchell? Is that his name?
Davion Mitchell. Yeah, he used to play for Sacramento.
Davion Mitchell. Yeah, he was good. He was good. He was getting. I mean, it's smart. I mean, Brunson tried. I thought Brunson was trying to carry him because nobody was doing anything. I get that. I didn't like the defense. I didn't think they communicated. They weren't on a string. They didn't play. I'll say it was sluggish. I'm worried about Cat, but I'm going to give him 20 games. The bench was awful, and Yabusele. I need more from all these guys because I don't know. It's one game, but I didn't like it. I thought they just showed up, Sam, and you can't just show up in the NBA. You gotta be if we're a championship level team like we say we are. Mm-hmm. You can miss shots, but I didn't like our effort out there. I was disappointed. You knew Miami was going to come to play and get into us. We didn't get into them until late. Yeah, Brunson got it down to 5 late in the game, but you can't just start giving the effort with like 2 minutes left and change. You can't do that to me because it's a 2.5 hour game. We watched the game for 2.5 hours, and you didn't give it to me. So that's all I got. I'll call you on Tuesday.
Okay. And before you go, one more question. How'd you feel about the rotations?
Okay. As far as Mike Brown's rotations tonight?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I like that he's trying different combinations so early in the season. Deuce did not play, so I want to factor that in. And Deuce could have really helped us. I like it. Kolek, I like he's playing Kolek, although Kolek didn't have as good a game as he did the first two games. Shamet missed shots. I like Shamet. Huck Porty didn't really do much for me. I don't really have an issue with playing. What did he play? 10 guys?
10 guys.
Play 10 guys tonight.
10 guys tonight.
I'm fine with that. Again, I don't love Josh Hart at 30 minutes, close to 30 minutes. That's just me. Jordan Clarkson played 15. Yabusele played 16. I mean, the way they're playing right now, I mean, you got to let them play through it, but didn't really give me anything. The one problem I'll have is they left Brunson on the bench too long. I know you don't want to overplay Brunson, and I've been one of the people, I don't want to talk out of both sides out of my mouth. I've said I think you do have to manage Brunson correctly, and I like him at 35 minutes. He was at 35 tonight. So, But, Sim, they had nothing going, and when you left you left them on the bench too long. I think like 7 minutes, and they really struggled. The Yabusele, Clarkson, those guys at the end of the third quarter, fourth, that kind of ballooned the lead for the Heat. That's my one criticism of Mike Brown. But I understand if you're living to fight another day, it doesn't really – the regular season, I get it. He kept him at 35, but that was one thing I would have brought Brunson back in a little bit earlier. That's just me.
Okay.
But hang in there. Look, I can't talk out of both sides out of my mouth. I want to win every game, and there's some truth to that. But it's really about the playoffs for me. But there was some concerning things that I did not like, and I have to call it out. I want Cat to be better. I want him to be explosive, athletic in this offense. But I don't think it's realistic for me to expect it after 3 games. I guess Cat's just going to work his way into shape. He needs to, because we're not winning a championship if Cat doesn't at least give me what I need on both ends of the floor, at least a little bit better. So I'll let you go.
All right. Spree, I appreciate it.
Sam.
Always.
All right, man.
All right, peace. All right. So, all right, see, this is what happens, Tony, every single time. Right? Now we're going the opposite way. Right now, okay, well, we know we want to keep it, and I love Spree, and I'm not saying, I'm not directing this towards you, right? I'm just, this is everybody, right? So now we're like, okay, well, yeah, 35 minutes, but we needed him out there on the floor. We needed more. Right, so he should have got 3 more minutes. Now he's up to 38, 39 minutes. Right? So it's which way do we go with it? Which way do we go with it, ladies and gentlemen? I want to know. Tell me, which way do we go with it? Go ahead, Tim.
I think they made a statement. I want to say Mike Brown in the preseason made a statement basically saying they're gonna lose games that they won last year because of these minutes. Because of these adjusting. You know what I mean? What he said, we're not chasing wins is the quote. Remember, I think I called you one day on that, and I was like, I don't like that.
About that.
You know what I mean? So if that's what the standard is, we're gonna have to, you know what I mean? We're gonna have to live with it. But I do think as a coach, there's a fine line. Even if that's your goal of 35 and keeping it there, you still gotta read the game and know, hey, it's gonna be an occasional night here and there that I do want to, you know what I mean? I am chasing these wins. So like that. So I don't. this could be one of those games, is basically what I'm saying. That's something I don't like. I didn't like the statement when he said it, before the season. And I feel like this is one of those games that, yeah,
You go,
you know what I mean?
you
He's
go
not
and try to
chasing
get
wins.
you go when you try to get the win. I mean, it's the Miami Heat. Blah blah blah. That's what you're saying. It's one of those games that you go try to get the wins.
Yeah. I think this is one of those games we could have won had Brunson played more. You know what I mean? But there is a flip side to it, right? Because you're giving other guys opportunity. You give other guys experience in these moments. You're giving them, like, they know they playing these minutes. They like, these are opportunities that they could, Mike Brown could read and figure out, and then maybe they don't play later on in the season. Maybe after giving multiple chances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, maybe he makes an adjustment, but he's giving them a fair opportunity early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
yeah, we're gonna come back to this. I want to talk more about the rotation thing and see what some people say in the chat. D Public Enemy said, "I don't like that the Knicks are starting to rely on 3-point shooting. Against Boston was bad. Now Miami was even worse." All right, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about that, Tony? About them relying on 3-point shooting? Because it definitely changes. It's very it's very different from the way we played under under Tom Thibodeau, right?
do I like it? No.
Okay.
Like, again, it's just things that you got to read in the game. Like, to me, Cat would have been more suited playing inside tonight. You know what I mean? Than shooting all the threes.
Right.
But I don't like it. But you know what I mean? I also say this: we haven't shot the ball well yet. Because when we start shooting 40% in the game as a team, and we shooting that many threes, chances are we're not gonna lose.
Yeah.
Chances are when we start hitting these shots, we're gonna be winning.
Yeah.
So again, the first two, it was like I said, we was learning while winning. It's interesting what they learned tonight,
right,
in the loss.
Yeah. On the phone, ladies and gentlemen, I got JJ from Brooklyn. JJ, how do you feel about the Knicks 3-point shooting? Took 54 threes tonight. Your thoughts?
Yeah, first, what's good, fellas? Hope you guys are doing well. I don't like it. And I don't like it because I don't think we have shooters, to be honest with you. We don't have a sniper. Who's our sniper? We don't have a Norman Powell. We don't have a Tyler Hero. We don't have it. Our best shooter is Cat, and he's a center. Who Bridges, OG, I don't look at them as 3-point shooters. Obviously, Haporti, Mitch, when he gets back, Clarkson can't shoot. Who's our shooters?
Deuce, who was out?
We don't have many.
Deuce?
Oh?
Deuce?
I wouldn't call him a shooter either.
You don't think so?
Nah, like a 3-point shooter, the most he ever shot was what, like 37%, 38?
40-something percent?
Yeah.
I think.
Maybe it's just me, but I don't look at him as like he's not like a consistent shooter, like, is what I'm saying. He's not a Norman Powell. You know what I mean? Like, he's not that.
Okay.
Like, he's not consistent. He's never been consistent, like, shooting-wise.
So then, what's our best style of play?
He's been consistent the last 3 years.
Say that again, Tony. Oh. So what's our best style of play then? If we're shooting too many threes, what's our best style of play? Oh no, let me say this. What's a comfortable number of threes?
Mid-30s, high 30s.
Okay.
I would like to see. I like Bridges. I love when Bridges is in that mid-range. I think he should have had more shots tonight. He was the only one besides Brunson that actually had it going.
Mm-hmm.
I think there were too many shots for OG, too many for Clarkson. I think Bridges definitely should have got at least 6 more shots up. You know, I think Cat needs to be in the post more. Like his post game does frustrate me at times. I feel like it's not as good as it should be. I feel like, but we need to get easier baskets. And like I feel like when Bridges is in the mid range, it's almost like an easy basket for him. I like that a lot. Like I feel like every time he's in that mid range, like it's gonna go in. Like I just think we gotta get to the rack. We gotta get to the rack more. Get free throws. I mean, can't just rely on threes. Like again, I just don't think we're a great shooting team personally. I don't want to live that way. That's just me. I don't want to, because if you live by the three, you can die by the three.
Understood.
So, and the question that Spree asked, it's funny because I was kind of thinking the same thing about, but my thing he asked is Cat good for this up tempo? My thing is, I could ask that about the whole roster. Like, who are the athletes?
Well, that's
Like,
I definitely agree with that sentiment. With the entire roster, are we?
Yeah,
Do
it's
we?
the whole roster.
Are we that type of team to be able to play fast?
No.
Consistently. I guess we'll see. Here's my answer to that.
Yeah.
Here's my answer to that. I don't think you have to. I don't know if you necessarily gotta have athletes like the type of athletes we're talking about right now, right? I think if
like
he
had a De'Aaron Fox with Sacramento, we don't have a De'Aaron Fox.
No, but if you understand how to get to your spots and pass the ball up the floor, I think you can be successful in playing fast. I don't think it necessarily has to be that everyone is you're dribbling up the ball super duper fast, and I don't think it necessarily has to be that way. I think you can pass the ball because the ball passes up the floor faster than you can run. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you learn how to get the ball up the floor, and guys, because if you're in the right positions defensively, everyone's not under the basket. You got 2 or 3 guys on the one at the top of the key, 2 guys on the wings most of the time.
Right.
So now those 3 guys, all they got to do is go from 3-point line to 3-point line. Spread the floor out, right? So you get the rebound, those guys should already be up the floor. Now you got to make, a clean pass up the floor. You know what I mean? So there's going to be a couple of guys that have to really bust their butt to get up the floor, but not everybody. So I think if you know how to pass the ball up the floor, you can still play fast.
Right.
But it's going to take that discipline. Yeah. It's going to take that type of discipline.
Yeah. Right. I agree. I just felt like, this was a game that we definitely could have won. I also feel like, because this was their home opener, so you're going to have that extra juice, the Heat players, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like they didn't match their energy,
Yeah.
So, yeah, what are you going to do? We're not going to go 82-0, you know what I'm saying? So,
No, I mean, that's the truth. We're not going to go 82-0. That's not going to happen. You can guarantee that.
Yeah, got to just bounce back. Bounce back versus Milwaukee. Get to 3-1, and you're
thoughts
fine,
about the minutes before I let you go, and then me and Tony we're going to continue that conversation.
Yeah.
Thoughts about the minutes distribution. Did you think Brunson should have played more minutes?
No, to be honest, like I don't know if you guys might not agree with this, but my take has been. How do I word it? Like, to me, this year with this roster, it's about the playoffs for me. So anything I could do to make sure everybody is right for the playoffs, that's what I'm about. That's all I'm about is the playoffs.
So when people say that, this is what this is.
Or ask the question: does seeding matter for you?
No, not at all. No.
But see, this is what gets me. This is what gets me. I think when people say, the regular season doesn't matter, it's the playoffs, it's about the playoffs for me, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like the regular season does matter because you got to get to the playoffs and you got to win games to get to the playoffs.
I'm not
right?
saying it doesn't matter. Right.
Right. You got to win games to get to the playoffs.
Right.
To me, when people say that, they're assuming you're going to get a certain amount of wins. It's like we know we have these amount of wins. Right? No matter what, we got 50 wins, we got 52, we got 47, whatever. People are assuming that we have that in the books already. But to me, you still got to win those basketball games. I don't like to say
it's just getting in the playoffs. Like, to me, it's just whether you're 1 or 6. To me, it's just getting in the playoffs and be healthy. And then, you go from there. That's just my angle on this team. Like where we got last year. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, really I understand. I understand that. It's about getting to the playoffs, but you got to win games to get to the playoffs. And I feel like we make the assumption that we've already got these many wins in the book. I could understand this. Let's put it like this. I can understand if the team that won first place last year and we won first place last year, you get spotted 50 wins, right? Now the other 32 don't really matter. Or you know what I'm saying? Or if you were the top 3 seeds, you automatically make the playoffs the next season. Then the season don't matter, right? It's all about adjusting and figuring out for the playoffs, but that's not the case.
Right.
In reality, you got to win those basketball games. And I feel like when you start to take a certain amount of wins for granted, because that's what I feel like happens when you say the regular season don't matter. You take those wins for granted, that's when you can flub up. I feel like because now you don't respect those wins.
Yeah. My thing is more so just like if someone's banged up, like right now, Cat, he's got the quad strain. So that could be contributing to him shooting more threes, not going down low much, looking slow on defense, which he's slow regardless.
I get that.
But to me, he should be sitting. We need to have the long-term goal in mind. And our long-term goal should not be game 3 of the regular season for a team that just made the ECF. That's kind of what I'm saying.
So
if someone's banged up, sit them.
No, yeah, I understand that 100%. I'm with you 100%. This is what I'm talking about. Kevin Bergen said another reason the season win amount is useless is because you can have a bad season win-wise and make it to the finals and win it all.
You can.
Can you? What's a bad season win-wise?
For this roster?
No. Just in the NBA, what is a bad season win-wise? Not for this roster. What is a bad season win-wise?
Probably anything under 500.
He just misphrased this thing.
Because
you could be 500 and get into the playoffs.
Okay.
You could get into the play-in.
And get into the playoffs.
I think that's what he's saying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But if you got 30 wins, you're probably not getting into the play-in or the playoffs. Right?
No.
That's a bad season. If you got 41 wins, it's not a great season, but it's not a bad season.
Right.
And you might get in and you might get into the play-in and do well. Right? I get that.
Right.
But to me, you got to get there, which means the regular season is like a playoff in and of itself. Because if everybody made the playoffs, the regular season wouldn't mean anything, but it does. And so you've got to balance.
Right.
You got to balance.
And can I just add, because I agree with the sentiment of the regular season don't matter. And I agree with you that the games matter. So I just reserve to, like, once we clinch, now
there you go.
We can start making sure we healthy. You know what I mean? Like, let's clinch first, and then we can start making sure, you know what I mean, these guys get some extra rest. Maybe these guys get an extra look to see if we can trust them. You know what I mean? But you gotta clinch first. You know what I mean? And you can clinch it early if you that good and you get them wins. So that's why I say get the wins, clinch, and then if you clinch early enough, you give yourself that window to start modifying minutes, adjusting, and seeing, giving guys extra looks to see what they could do and things of that nature.
And see, this is the.
But you gotta get the wins first.
But see, Kevin, this is where I think we take things for granted. He said, but I also said, Sim, we all know the Knicks team. This Knicks team will be in the playoffs. Let me give you an example.
I kind of agree with that.
Let me give you an example of how early wins mean something. The Nets, a couple of years ago, they had KD, they had James Harden, they had all these guys, right? Kyrie. And they weren't, obviously the team didn't mesh, but they had some early season wins. Mid-season, late to mid-season, before the trade deadline, everybody's gone. Guess who still made the playoffs, though? The Nets, right?
Mikal Bridges.
And why did they make it? Because they got those early season wins. So let's say we throw these games away. All right, you know what? We're throwing these games away in the name of rest or preparing for the playoffs or this or that and this and that. And then we get to the end of the season and we got guys missing. They suffer injuries that's, we're going to be done. They're going to be done for the remainder of the season in the playoffs. And then you don't make the playoffs because now you're battling down the stretch where maybe you could have got some wins that secured your spot. I'm just saying we got to balance it, and I don't think we should take any amount of wins for granted because we just don't know what's going to happen. We don't know when things are going to click, when things are not going to click. I think you go and you get your wins. And
that's fair.
you figure out games where you're blowing a team out. You know what? He only needs 20 minutes tonight. Well, it's third quarter. We're up 30. He don't need to be in the game. We don't have to worry about the rotation right now. I think you can find it that way. But in games like tonight, I think maybe you say, let's get the win is here for us. We need it. Let's get it. And we can worry about resting them when we blow out the next team or something like that. That's how I feel about it. You can still find ways, to get them that rest. But I do feel like we want to get the wins. Because to me, seeding is important. I know everyone says, you're going to play who's in front of you anyway, and you got to beat this team and beat that team. And I get it. We proved it last year. We beat the Boston Celtics. I understand that.
Yeah.
Right?
We could win on the road. But that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I think we can win anywhere. Like, I'm confident that, if we have to play Game 7 in Cleveland, I think we can win.
I do. But we just went to Miami and lost in Miami to a tough Miami team, right?
Yeah.
I would rather play a Game 7 at Madison Square Garden than in Miami or Cleveland.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Or one of these other cities. I'd rather play a Game 7 at home. That's just how I feel about it.
Right.
And to me,
I get it.
It builds the confidence of a team to, we ain't won nothing yet. We haven't won anything. If we won 2 championships in a row, we know how to do it. We got that part figured out. I can kind of understand some of these things. We haven't won anything. We haven't done anything. So people are telling me that this team knows how to do it. This team is experienced enough and so vet grizzled that they understand when to turn it on. We're not those Chicago Bulls teams like that. You know what I'm saying? We're not that. We're still learning ourselves as a team. I can understand. Okay, we won 2 championships. We know how to pace ourselves throughout the season and then get it right when it's time to. I don't think we're that team. That's my opinion.
That's fair.
I don't think we're that team. I think we need to play to win. I think you learn how to become that team, and there's still a way to play to win. And I'm not saying we didn't try to win tonight. We pushed the buttons to win, and still rest our guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. No, I get it.
That's how I feel about it.
Fair. I feel you.
Yeah. So.
All right, fellas. Appreciate y'all, man.
I appreciate you, man.
Have a good one.
No doubt. Peace. I don't know, Tony. It's a.
I'm telling you, Sam, I'm torn, bro, because like my preference is all the wins that we could get. You know what I mean? The best seeding that we could get, and all that. And I agree with you. We're not that team that has that championship pedigree.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
To where it's instilled in us, and we know how to coast through the season. You know what I mean? I don't think we're a coast team that we could just go through the season. But here's the thing. Here's the only thing that I thought about this like all off season. I think I did a show on it, or at least raised a question in the show. And this is the only reason why the seeding, you know what I mean? I'll say my preference is the best seeding, but it doesn't matter to me as long as we're in. And that's why, like, once we clinch, I kind of adopt that philosophy of, you know what I mean? Like, let's get to the playoffs healthy. We're in there. We know we're in there, whatever. Because we haven't taken care of home court advantage. We haven't made home court advantage mean anything in the playoffs. You know what I mean? It's great to be in the Garden. It's dope when we win in the Garden and you experience that. But when it comes down to that game 7, and hey, we home and we got, you know what I mean? We bringing it back to the Garden. We've been, you know what I mean? I know it's been circumstances.
It's been
injuries,
circumstances,
whatever,
though.
but
it's definitely been circumstances as far as injuries and all that stuff.
But, you know what I mean? The Garden didn't carry us over that hump. You know what I'm saying? So we also got to prove that. We got to prove that the Garden even means something.
We do. I don't. I don't
like,
take it as far as like the Garden means something as far as other players being afraid to play. I just, just being home, being comfortable, being on your practice court. Not the stress of travel and those type of things, especially if we're playing a team that's, if we're playing like a Boston or Philly, the travel is nothing. We're playing in Indiana, the travel is a little bit more.
Even last year though, didn't like until the Eastern Conference Finals, I thought we was like the most dominant road team in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like it was almost like we felt more comfortable on the road.
I mean, we did. We won on the road,
and again
but I just, it might not be that way this year. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
And if we have home court advantage, and you still winning on the road, you come home in a comfortable spot with
go home early.
With wins on the road. I feel like part of fine tuning your team is figuring out how to get these wins, figuring out who to and with tonight, you know what I'm saying? It's a learning experience for Mike Brown too. You know what I'm saying? And figuring out what his team can do because it's an early season game. All right, let me see if Jordan Clarkson can take over in these minutes, or let me see if this guy can take over in these minutes. You know what I'm saying? We can leave Brunson on the bench because I want to see if these guys can do this right now. You know what I'm saying? When we get a little bit later in the season, you kind of know what guys are going to do and not going to do. We get 20, 25 games in, You know what I'm saying? So then I want to see, all right, you know what? These guys might not be able to do it. No one's got it going except for Brunson. He's going to have to get 38, 39 minutes tonight because we want to get this win.
That's what I was saying.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was saying. saying earlier.
I'm just a big believer in let's not take anything for granted. You know what I'm saying? Let's not take anything for granted. Let's win our games. Let's get the best seeding possible because, to me, you build like you're building your team that way too. You know what I mean? So that's what to me seeding does mean something because I want to get the best. I want to get the best seed possible if I can. Because I'm building this winning mentality in my team. This winning mentality. I can. And now, after a few years, we've been to the chip. We won the chip. Maybe we could take a different approach, but we ain't won nothing yet. I don't think we've won anything yet to do those things.
And I think it's important.
And by winning, I don't mean that. Oh, well, you got to win a championship to rest players. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't think we have the experience as a team that has won the championship to understand how to pace ourselves to the championship. I think the only way to understand how to pace yourself to the championship is to win the championship once, twice, or get to the NBA, win one, get to the NBA finals, lose, then get to the championship again, win, whatever. Then I think you understand as a team how to pace yourself because you've got that experience. I just don't think this team has that experience to understand how to pace themselves to a championship. You know what I mean? That's how I see it right now.
Well,
go ahead, Tone.
Here's what I'll say. To shoot Mike Brown some bail, and you just mentioned it. How he's still learning, right? He's still figuring things out. Let me see if Clarkson can take over.
Yeah.
But that's an important factor because you think about it, he still hasn't implemented plays, right? He still hasn't so he's how do you say it? He's focusing on the philosophy, right? And learning the immediate tendencies that I want you guys to do every single play, every single time down the floor. Master that, right? And then he's gonna start implementing actual plays and counters and things. So I think they're still in that whole learning process of mastering the philosophy.
They are.
You know what I mean? And so even with that, he's not gonna deviate from that to say, let me put Brunson in earlier than I normally would, because now that has to be the tendency. You know what I mean? Now you got to do that the next time you're in this position. So I wouldn't be surprised if, Clarkson gets another opportunity. Let me see how he bounces back from, not being able to take over or dominate or whatever the case is. Like he still has to give these guys multiple reps. Second chances. You do good. Oh, let me see if you could do good again. Oh, you do bad. Let me see if you could bounce back. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, so I get what he was saying. Like, I just didn't like how he's like what he said about the chase and wins part. Cause I'm like, it's almost ammo. You know what I mean? But it bothered me all summer. Like, why would you say that? But he's also has that championship pedigree, right? As an assistant. He's gotten to the finals. You know what I mean? Like, so he knows. Like you gotta let him cook too. You know what I'm saying? Like he got his philosophy. Like that was my thing with Tibbs. I didn't agree with everything with Tibbs, but I understood who Tibbs was, so I wasn't gonna nitpick at the things that you know what I mean. He's doing because that's who he is. I gotta live with it. Live with the good. Live with the bad. But I think it is a learning curve for him too. You know what I mean? He got to give these guys multiple reps, multiple opportunities, multiple chances to kind of learn what the philosophy is. And then once they master it, you know what I mean? Then he'll be like, all right, he don't got it tonight.
Yeah, and I agree
let
with
me
that.
deviate this way.
Yeah, and I agree with that. You know, but I also believe, I do believe the early season wins mean something. You know what I mean? Because I've watched the NBA a lot and seen teams not be able to recover from having early season losses. Now, I don't expect that this team is going to be losing a lot of games right now. You know what I mean? But let me go 15-3, 10-2. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like taking any of those things for granted because they can come back to get you. You know what I mean? They can come back to get you, and a team can now be like, oh well, we understand how to beat them. You know what I'm saying? Like they get
Was just
confidence
thinking
against you. You know what I'm saying? Like these things happen early in the season. These things happen early in the season. You know what I mean? Let me get to a call. We got Moses on the line. Moses, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, my brother. I feel good, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm happy
quick
the
question.
season is here. You know?
Say that again?
I said I'm happy the season is here and I'm excited about this team.
Yeah, me too. This is just one loss, so I ain't worried about it. But I believe they'll come back and beat them next time. But my question is, what's your thoughts about trying to bring back Quentin Grimes?
I mean, I don't know if that's gonna happen this season, but I think he would fit perfectly with this team.
But what you're gonna give up to get him? Because I think, I still think that the way the bench played, I think we still might need a little more pieces.
Is Quentin Grimes coming here and coming off the bench?
He's
I
going
mean,
to.
I would see him. I would actually see Quentin Grimes as a starter on this team, as far as because he can shoot the basketball, and he plays defense. If he was on this team, I think he would fit in that starting lineup perfectly. To be honest with you.
Yeah, because I understand he left because Tibbs wanted him out of here, but do you think the reason why they got, even though I'm happy for Mike Brown, do you think the reason why they got rid of Tibbs is because he was running players to the ground?
I don't know if that's the only reason why they got rid of him. I think there was probably some disagreements in philosophy. Not just in how he uses players, but in bringing in players like we saw with Cam Reddish, right? Things like that. Right, so I think it had to do with those
It's
things.
crazy. I mean, Cam Reddish left. I think I would have traded Cam Reddish if I was gonna lose him. But my question is, like, I feel like we should try to bring back either. To me, I think we should bring back Quentin Grimes. Even though he look like he's happy in Philadelphia. Do you think he's really happy in Philadelphia?
I mean, if he's getting burned, he's getting money. Yeah.
Or I think I heard that Philly was going to pay him more money than New York. I heard.
I mean, I don't know how much the Knicks would have been. I don't think they would have been able to pay him the amount of money that Philly's paying him. If you, yeah. So
he wanted more than that. he signed a qualifying offer because they didn't give him the contract he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a unrestricted free agent next year. So he go wherever the bag is next year.
Mm-hmm.
So we not getting him.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, once he sees it, because if Philly don't make the playoff, I think he might want to leave. To be honest with you.
I mean, he might, but I don't think he's not going to take a discount to come to the Knicks. And the Knicks won't be able to give him, what probably what he wants. So
True. Yeah. But so who do you think the Knicks should? Oh yeah, I forgot. Mitchell Robinson is injured. If once the team comes back healthy, I would say give it about a couple games. Let these guys get used to playing with each other. And like if the team is if Mitch could come back healthy and everybody's healthy, I mean, we should go all the way to the NBA finals. We should due to the East injuries.
We got to make it happen first, bro. We got to make it happen first, bro. We got a whole season to get through. I don't think Mike Brown is thinking about the NBA finals right now. I don't think the players are thinking about the NBA finals right now. I think they're going day by day and trying to figure out how to get better.
I mean, of course.
So
they can't
I just
can't
don't
lose to Miami and be thinking about the finals.
word. I just don't think, like right now we got to settle in on what we doing right now. Figure that out.
Yeah. But the thing is, on the game like this that we played, we need somebody else to at least help Brunson out that is capable of scoring 30 points.
We supposed to have them guys. We got Cat, who averaged 24, 25 points a game. We got Bridges. Jordan Clarkson's supposed to be that guy. So, it's not going to be too many nights. It's not going to be too many nights that everybody's off except for Brunson and Bridges. It's not going to be too many nights like that.
I mean, yeah, but that's why I said, man, it's still early. The thing is trying to focus on getting these guys to play well together and getting them healthy down the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number one key. You know what I'm saying? I still believe we'll make the playoff down the road anyway. But
there we go. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. Yeah, I just believe we're going to make the playoffs because we step on the floor. Because we're in the NBA. We're going to make it.
We'll make it. But
you got to get these games,
right now,
brother.
It's still early. You know what I'm saying? You just get healthy. You know what I'm saying? Have the team play well together. And look, and by the time the playoff comes, if you're healthy and you do what you're supposed to do, we'll make it through. It starts from the earlier the season, Like if you have a chance to add better pieces, for a good price and go that route,
Yeah, I feel you. I'm just saying, we got to get the wins. But Moses, I appreciate you. Oh, go ahead.
One last thing.
Yeah.
You know who I really want to see, who really want to come here, but we not gonna be able to get him.
Who?
Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I would love Devo back, but
how would you try to trade him? How would you try to get him?
I don't even know right now because I'm just focused on I don't even want to trade for Giannis right now. I just want to focus on the team we have.
Nah, I'm talking about Dante.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to trade.
Let's not even go to Giannis.
I don't want to trade for anybody right now. I don't want to trade for anybody right now. I want to see how this team comes together first.
Yeah. They let's get the Giannis crap out the way, man. We really don't need him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and plus, Milwaukee's gonna ask for like a half a team to get Giannis. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, we good. We will go far without him. You know what I'm saying? Just stay healthy. Like, find a way to play well together, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah. All right, Moses. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
All right. Peace. Tony, there's a good question in the chat. I didn't even get a chance to read all Philly's stats yet. Because, I ain't get a chance to do it yet. That's cool, though. There's a good question in the chat. Where'd it go? Let me find it. Don O'Cannon said, so Tony, I don't know why his name's not shown, but whatever. Roughly, how many games do you give the coach before you say this is the philosophy as a coach and if things not going well? Just curious, when is the honeymoon over for Mike Brown?
I mean, that's up to him, where he feels like the players are you know what I mean? Like they're doing more of his stuff than not. You know what I mean? Like after every game, he's talking about how many sprays they did, right? I think tonight it was 14 sprays, which is relatively low compared to the numbers he was saying after the first 2 games. So it's certain things he's looking for that will determine, all right, this has been a 10-game stretch, I'm assuming, of, let's say the number's 22. Well, you know what I mean? Like 22 sprays. He counts deflections. He counts like, so that's really up to him. But I'm assuming a 10-game stretch should say, all right, they got it. You know what I mean? Let me start implementing additions, plays, counters, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I can't give. I would say like a 10-game stretch should be enough to be like, all right, yeah, they got it. They got it. They figured. You know what I mean?
You mean
what do you think, son?
You mean 10 wins in a row, or
No.
a 10-game stretch?
I'm saying if I'm Mike Brown and they doing let's say there's 5 things he's looking for, including like the deflections, the sprays, whatever else he has in his terminology. If they're doing those things consistently and hitting the numbers that he's looking for consistently, 43s, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
All right. Let's say he got 5 marks. You know what I mean? They do that 10 games in a row. I'm not talking about the record. You know what I mean? We might be 7-3. We might be, but 10 games of consistently hitting those markers that he's looking for.
Okay.
All right. Let me start adding to it. Let me start implementing more.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. You know, I can see that 10 games. You know, you've done it for 10 games in a row. We know you got it. You know, I could definitely see that. When is the honeymoon over for him?
I mean, it's when the record is not in the positive. if you keep it in a buck, right? Where we under 500, honeymoon's over now. Like,
okay,
we end up 2-2. Is, you know what I mean? The talk, the dynamic, the look is gonna get a little different.
Right.
But we always tend to start judging the season at 20 games, right? Like that, like every year we like, is it too early to, you know what I mean? Is it too early? We usually in MBK usually give it like 20 games into the new season. We can start making a couple of judgments,
some
right?
sound judgments,
fair assessments.
Yeah, some fair assessments on the team. I ain't gonna say players because I know I've been, talking about Yabusele just from the early, what I'm seeing early, and I know some people, was like, Sam, like, why are you doing that to him? But it's just my thoughts on him right now. The Miami Heat, ladies and gentlemen, shot the ball well, 45.8%, 35.1% from the three-point line, only 83 field goal attempts. We'll go back and look at the Knicks field goal attempts, though. 29 points for Norman Powell, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. He led the team in scoring. Bam Adebayo had 19 points, 13 rebounds, only shot 33% from the field and 20% from the three-point line. 17 points for Jamie Jaquez. 14 points for Fontecchio. He was cooking us, right? That's one thing that Clyde was saying. He was like, it's like, we got guys named Fontecchio and Smith are doing it to us. It's not even Powell. It's not even Wiggins. It's these dudes. When their bench was cooking us tonight. There's no doubt about it.
34 bench points.
Yeah, their bench cooked us tonight. The Knicks, how many shot attempts did the Knicks take tonight? Let's take a look at that.
I don't know, but Mike Brown said we lost the possession battle. And he said that's the first time this season.
Yeah.
So
but the Knicks took 98 shot attempts. So in the possession battle, maybe he's maybe he's saying more, not the shot attempts, but did you win the possession? You know what I'm saying? Did you win that possession? Just because you got a shot up doesn't mean it was a good shot. They could have forced you into a bad shot and they still won that possession. Right? You missed it. They got the rebound and went back the other way. I don't know. We'll see how things work out as far as like the pace and the style that they play. I do still have the questions. Do we have the consistent enough shooters to play that type of game? But it's a learning process. It's a learning process. Right now, our scoring hasn't really been that much different than last year. So, I don't know. We had a top 5 offense last year.
Yeah. People tend to forget that when we talk about the offense improving so much.
Yeah. Right. We had a top 5 offense. That's a pretty good offense. Caller, you're live. Name me where you're from, please.
I do think we surely.
Go ahead, caller.
Rico, me? You can hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Rico from Harlem.
Rico, what's going on,
like
man?
a long time listener.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
All right. So my take is more or less the live and die by the 3.
Mm-hmm.
So like we gonna have some games like today. Game 3 in the season is early, yeah, sure. But we gonna have plenty of games like this. There's games that we gonna be shooting from the 3 and we gonna be just off. And it's not going to be the only game. It's like other games farther through the season. There's games that we going to be hot, and it's going to be just going in throughout the game. But there's going to be games like today that it just like wasn't on our night. So I will hope like when we see that we're not really like banging it from the 3, that we'll take it inside more and maybe go for like more mid range, drive it to the rim, draw the foul, more or less. And yeah, and that's my take on that point. And I wasn't really here for the whole podcast, but what do you think of Yabusele's play so far?
Well, let me. Where was you?
What you say?
If you wasn't here for the podcast, where was you at, bro?
Oh, I was like doing stuff around the house.
I'm just messing
bro.
with you, man. I'm just messing with you.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just messing with you. Yabusele, I still have questions about Yabusele. You know what I'm saying? I got questions about him.
Yeah, for sure. And he came in out of shape. Like that's way by saying right now. I believe someone listed that he's like the 3rd heaviest player in the league, and
For
I
real?
feel like his weight is just affecting his play. I've seen that in one of the telecasts in the first 3 games of the season while watching. Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So, and I was wondering, like, is his weight affecting him? Like this 3 and D, like live and die by a 3. Is he playing like more out of position? That like the 3 shot is not really his game, and Mike is like really telling him to take more 3-point shots than his game is more for all about. Because I don't think the 3 ball is like his strength, but it's just like part of his game at the same time. I feel like his game is more driving to the rim and going to the fast break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a lot to learn about this team, Yabusele. I'm not sure about him. I guess I just need to see more. Right now, I have questions about whether or not he fits with this style of play that Mike Brown wants to play. That's where I'm at. I have questions.
I had the other thing. If you realize, like during the 4th quarter, 6 or 7 minutes left, Towns was in, but Mike Brown decided to take Yabusele out. Towns out and sub Yabusele in, and he realized he was still struggling, and he felt like he corrected a mistake and brought Towns back in. For some reason, I criticized that moment, saying like in my own head, like, what you doing? Like, because we needed more offense out there, but we being down and taking Towns out for like a minute and a half of the fourth quarter, it was like really questionable to me. So I was like, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know if you caught that really, and like I know it's really tough to criticize like Mike early, but that was something that I noticed. I said, and also like the subs, it was like Brunson. I felt like was sitting down for too long and came back like it took him a while. It took him like maybe 3 minutes to the fourth quarter to him to get hot again because he was really a hot hand all night, and that was our really only go to throughout the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, listen, like we said, and we've been talking a lot about Mike Brown, the roster, the rotations, etc. I
yeah,
still do believe that it's going to take a little bit of time for Mike Brown to learn this team. It takes
right.
time to learn the team, to learn which substitutions to make. It takes time to learn those things. It's not going to happen
I understand that.
overnight. You know what I mean? It takes a little bit of
Right.
time.
Yeah.
So we do have
Right.
to be a little bit patient with them.
I understand.
And
Yeah.
the issue is though, I don't know if he's going to be afforded that patience because you know what I mean? Because people expect a championship from
Results.
Mike Brown.
Right.
So I don't know if he's going to be afforded that patience, which is, I mean, what maybe unfortunate for him because, I think he does deserve some patience with it being, him being new to the team and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Deserves a little bit of
Right.
patience.
I understand.
I doubt that he gets it
Yeah.
from us though.
Yeah, I understand. Like I felt I was a big Tips guy, and like I felt like he was getting on a lot, like after the games from results.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Mike Brown, I know it's like a 1, 2, 3 thing. It's like
Yeah.
finals, championship, or bust. So, yeah, we are expecting a lot, and I just felt like today was probably a winnable game just because of Miami and their roster right now. I don't feel like it's really they probably a playing team at most. So, yeah,
Okay. All right.
Miami. So,
Well,
yeah. So that's my take. I
all
won't
right.
hold you up. And I'm an originator. Like I've been listening to you since 2020.
Appreciate you, brother.
When like, yeah, when you had like the open panels that like the StreamYard and like you could just jump in anytime. I was
Yeah.
there for that.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank you
night,
much.
man.
Have a good one.
You
Peace.
too.
All right, Tony. What do you take?
Rico.
What do you take from this right here? Okay. And I know it's 3 games, but we expect. Tom Thibodeau's supposed to be the defensive guru. Mike Brown was supposed to be the guy who makes the offense pop. Okay. 2025, 2024, 2025. And obviously this is an entire season. So the Knicks offensive rating, 117.3. Their defensive rating, 113.3. 2000, and the Knicks were 5th in offense. And on defense, they were 13th. That's where we ended the regular season. Right now, 3 games in. The New York Knicks defensive rating is 105.6. That's 4th in the NBA. And their offensive rating, ladies and gentlemen, is 109.6. That's 22nd in the NBA.
I think it's right on par for 2 reasons. Number one, Mike Brown did a wonderful job in Sacramento, but his MO started off as a defensive coach. So I don't think he's ever really lost that side of the you know what I mean, the floor. And he's been on record, even not after this loss, but after the second win, of saying the defense is way ahead of the offense right now. So
Right.
we haven't really got, you know what I mean? Like they haven't got his philosophy down pat yet. You know what I mean? And he's acknowledged the defense is way ahead of the offense. So can we keep the defense where it is? That, I think that's the great question. You know what I mean? The real question: can we keep the defense where it is? I expect the offense to improve. We haven't. I mean, admittedly, we haven't been shooting well as a team. You know what I mean? Like, and we've been missing open shots. It's not like we've been struggling to get shots like last year. You know what I mean? We've been missing open shots.
Okay.
So I think it's going to improve.
Let me
Does
see.
it get back to 5? I don't know. I hope so.
See, that's
I hope
tough.
so. I hope it
That's
gets
tough
I hope
for
it gets
me.
better than 5.
That's tough for me. That's tough for me. Honestly, because that's tough for me. That's one of the reasons he's obviously brought here, to expand the offense, to get the most out of this offense. And if you don't get back to 5, well, if you win the championship, it don't matter. Right? But let's just say we didn't, and we don't get back to 5. I don't know. I mean, we had a 117.3 offensive rating. The best in the league was 121. That was the Cleveland Cavaliers. OKC, the world champions, was 119.2. The difference with OKC is their defensive rating was 106.6, which was number 1 in the NBA as well. And their offensive rating was number 3 in the NBA.
If the defense could stay at 4, I'm okay with the offense being somewhere between, 7 or better.
Yeah.
Especially
Especially
because
I'd be cool with that too.
I expect the learning curve. To actually be pretty, you know what I mean? Like 20 games in before we really start to get it, to be honest. And then, you know what I mean? If the offense improves, whatever it ends up being, you got to take into account this early stretch where what'd you say, 24?
22nd.
You know what I mean? Like, so if we
22nd.
If we 22nd and we improve to 7th, that's a huge jump by the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? So,
and obviously with 3 games, we score 130 points one game, we can jump up to 7th. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only it's a few, such a few amount of games. So,
here's the things I'm worried about offensively. Let me start with Yabusele because we was just talking about him. Because admittedly, when we first signed him, I wasn't like super enthused about him, and it wasn't until I started watching him in the Euro Cup that I was looking at. All right, he does have some game that I wasn't necessarily aware of. He continued to shoot the 3 in Euro Cup as well. He shot the ball from 3 well from Philly last year, but the observation of him, or the knock on him, was his year in Philly a fluke year, because in the past, even in Europe, and when he was previously in the NBA, the 3 wasn't really a part of his game, a huge part of his game, and that was like the best he shot ever in Philly. But again, he continued that in Euro Cup this summer. So I was like, all right, maybe it's not a fluke. I do think for him to succeed here, I think he's here to hit 3s. I think anything else we get from him is kind of a bonus, and that's like the one thing he really hasn't been doing yet. You know what I mean? Oh, it was great to have the 5 offensive rebounds, but I think that was a bonus tonight. It wasn't. It's like that's not expected for him to crash the offensive board, and like that's why we got you. brought you here. You know what I mean? I think we brought him here to hit threes, to stretch the floor. And until he starts hitting them, it's not gonna really look pretty with him.
Right.
The
Knicks are averaging 16.7 turnovers per game right now. 20th in the league.
That's I think, again, that's fair for where we are with us playing the way we're playing. The turnovers was gonna go up. I think we do have to have a more conscious effort and concern about it, because a lot of those turnovers are preventable, but that also a lot of them are because they're looking at pass more collectively. You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to be playmaking, so that's gonna happen a little bit more. I think it will clean up. I don't think we'll average that many by the end of the year. Another concern offensively, honestly, and this has nothing to do with what I've seen. This is because it is what it is. Josh Hart's finger. You know what I mean? His shot is already sometime, you know what I mean? Like, he could get super hot, but you know what I mean? He could be off for a long stretch. I think that finger is really going to hamper him shooting wise all year long, and that is a concern of mine. Whether he hesitates and or not, you know what I mean? I think even if he's not hesitating, and because he hasn't been hesitating so far, right? If he's open, he's been shooting it. It's looked bad though. It looks like a couple air balls far left. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know. Like, he really, I ain't gonna lie. I was thinking, like, it might not even be feasible at this point, but I'm like, yo, he might start trying to shoot left-handed. You know what I mean? Like, or some Kobe.
Nah, I don't want to see that. I ain't trying to see that.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you work on it and you do it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, because it look bad right now. It look as bad as I've ever seen, and he hasn't been hesitating at all.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's questioning his shot. I think it's that finger.
Yeah.
So I am concerned with that.
Okay. All right. You know, right now the things I'm concerned with, I am concerned with the turnovers a little bit. I do realize we're playing a faster pace, and so there's going to be more turnovers, because we're playing a faster pace. But the reason why I'm concerned with it is because we're also not shooting well. You know what I mean? So, those two things capitalize on each other. So not only are you giving him the ball because you're turning the ball over, but you're giving him the ball because you're missing shots. You can't do both of those things at the same time and continuously win, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? One of those things can't be true if you're going to win basketball games. The Knicks
when you say you worried, are you worried long term? Or you just saying, like,
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like that's when I say I'm not worried, because I think it'll auto correct.
I hope so. The Knicks gotta start shooting better. If we're gonna average 16 turnovers a game, we gotta shoot better. You know what I mean? We just we gotta shoot the ball better to nullify those turnovers. If you're not gonna shoot the ball well, then you need to have a low turnover rate, in my opinion. You know what I mean? To offset the shots that you miss. I do think we'll start making more shots, though, as we get a little bit more comfortable. But what happens if we continue to not shoot well and turn the ball over and, we're 25 games in? What do we do? Do you change your style?
I mean,
I don't
you're
winning,
see a coach doing that.
If you're winning, then I guess you keep doing what you're doing. If you're winning, you keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about the result. It's about the result. You know what I mean? But let's say we're 500, which I doubt, but let's say we were. And, do you say, you know what? Maybe I need to slow it down and get a little bit more control. and let them get a little bit more control. Or maybe I need more plays because this group doesn't pick up
That's
the whole read and react. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
where I was going. That's where I was going because I don't think he deviates. I don't think any coach really deviates from their philosophy. I've come to that understanding. Like, um, I think it would be more the latter of implementing plays, implementing go tos that you could run within the system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's gonna have to do that anyway, eventually. You know what I mean? Otherwise, what are you really doing as a coach? You know what I mean? I think you got to implement plays at some point, and plays for individuals. You know what I mean? Like for multiple individuals.
Right.
I think you got to have a Brunson book. You got to have a Cat book. You got to have a McHale book. You know what I mean? Like, I think you got to have these plays for all your guys, at least 5 of them, right? That you could draw up a play for, and they know this is for him. Everybody knows this play is for him, and then you got to counter off of that play as well.
Right.
That you know what I mean. But I think that's what I'm really looking forward to. But I don't think we see that until 20 games in.
Yeah. lot happening. You got to be patient, but there's a lot happening with the Knicks. The Knicks tonight, 107 points, 52 rebounds, 23 assists. We haven't seen that assist mark go high yet, probably because we're not shooting the ball well.
And the turnovers.
And the turnovers. 23 assists, 9 steals, 3 blocks, 15 turnovers for the Knicks. They only shot 38.8% from the field. They shot 27.8% from 3 and 76% from the free throw line. 42 points in the paint. Miami had 48. Second chance points, the Knicks 21, Miami 17. 31 fast break points for Miami and only 10 for the Knicks.
Yeah, they had like 18 in the first half, I think.
Yeah, not a good game. So, we're going to see, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not trying to jump the gun. Just breaking down the game as I saw it tonight and what we've done over 3 games. We're 2-1 over those 3 games. Who do we play? Milwaukee on Tuesday. That's another tough game. Hopefully Deuce will be back. We don't know when Mitch will be back. We need to bounce back and get that win. I think that's important for us to bounce back. All right, we took a loss. Let's bounce back and get a win. Hopefully a blowout win.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Sim. I'm probably gonna miss the post game for Tuesday.
Okay.
But if we win, I'll be watching the game while you doing the post game, and I'll be getting the losers lounge comments
I'll
ready.
probably be doing the post game from the road on Tuesday. I gotta travel. I gotta travel to Maryland tomorrow night, and I'll be on my way back. So I'll be watching the game. So I'll probably just pull over and do a quick show on Tuesday.
Okay.
Because I'll be on the road. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, let me know if you want to stop through on a way back.
Yeah, let me see what time. I'll see what time everything lines up. I'm not sure exactly what time I'm leaving Maryland. So I'll definitely let you know. I do want to, my Giants fans out there, I love the Giants. But today wasn't a good day for the Giants. Cam Scatterbo. Did you see what happened to his ankle?
I didn't.
Ah, man. His ankle, your feet are like this. His ankle was like this. Fox didn't even want to show it again. His ankle was like that. You know what I mean? done for the season.
He's a rookie, right?
He's rookie, done for the season.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, the Giants have some young players who are going to be very good in this league. Obviously, Jackson Dart, he's doing his thing out there. Malik Neighbors, Scatterbull, like you have a base of players right there, and two of them are hurt. Malik Neighbors is out for the season, with a terrible injury. Now Scatterbull with a terrible injury. You know what I mean? And we got Jackson Dart out there playing. Tough. That was tough injury for Scatterbull. I feel bad for him. You know what I'm saying? I feel really bad for him. So I mean,
I didn't watch anything Giants today. I saw the score 7-7, and then I saw 20-30 something, and I was I ain't watching the highlights.
Yeah, we ended up getting smacked. I mean, the season was already for the most part over, but we just had some hope that we looked good because we had these two young guys playing, and now Scatterbull suffers that kind of an injury. Feel bad.
Speedy recovery for him.
Hope so. I hope so. But the New York Knicks are still a good basketball team, ladies and gentlemen. As much as, I know I'll be bringing up questions and stuff like that. That don't mean I don't believe in the team. I believe in the team, and I believe we're going to be right there battling in the end. So don't get me wrong. Just, I see things and I want to see them corrected. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I appreciate your time. It's 12:18. I know people got to get ready for work in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I got to do the same. So we're going to head up out of here for the night. All right? And hopefully I get to jump on sometime tomorrow, with some after getting some rest, maybe some other thoughts pop into my brain. I'll probably watch a little bit more of the game again, just so I can break some things down and whatnot. I want to check out, someone brought up about the style and type of threes that the Knicks have been taking. See which one's good, which ones I think are bad, and all of that good stuff. You know what I mean? Anyway, any last words, Tony, before we get up out of here?
Nah, man, I'm just glad the season's back. I'm working on, getting a new computer so I could drop some content as well. So as soon as I get my stuff in order, I'm back. But
No
you know what I mean? In the meantime, I'll be checking in with you Sim every game, you know what I mean? So we could keep this thing going.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm up out of here. Be peaceful. One.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench.